everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Geeky Cauldron. And today we're going to be talking about the Rings of Akhaten, the second episode in the new season of Doctor Who. Now, I didn't actually really like it that much. I do apologize for taking so long to put this video up. I just went to the doctor and they did like some sort of weird nerve test because I've been having tingling in my fingers and my toes. And whatever they did like kicked up all of my nerves, and now I like can barely move my neck. So I've been walking around kind of like for the past couple of days, and I've had to work, so I haven't really had a chance to do this. They go to the Rings of Akhaten for the Festival of Offerings. The little girl is supposed to sing to this grandfather planet in order to lull him to sleep and keep him asleep, as they've been doing for years upon years upon years in this endless lullaby, and she fucks it up, and he sucks her into the center of the pyramid and tries to eat her soul, and the doctor sacrifices himself but doesn't end up sacrificing himself. Cue tears, cue companion coming to save him, blah. That's pretty much it. Obviously, the Rings of Akhaten was supposed to be the quintessential companion sees the future episode, you know? Like, one of the first few things they always do with a companion is throw them into the future and show them what it's going to be like, or an alien planet, so that's what they were doing. I have to agree with a review on IGN that said this world wasn't a particularly intriguing one. Clara's kind of thrown into this Festival of Offerings, which is basically all of these people offering up their important belongings to this one god in order for him to stay asleep. If he wakes up, he's gonna want to eat somebody, and it's probably gonna be this really cute little girl that's been chasing Clara, that Clara's been chasing around. Now, the episode starts off with Clara saying she wants to go someplace awesome, and the doctor brings her there. One of the coolest things about this episode was his offhand sort of, remind me to come back here more, you know? I brought my granddaughter here once. Like, I loved that. I love when we get that little peek into, you know, the man that he once was back before we all knew him. I think that's really important. I think it kind of shows us, you know, how much we don't know about this man. You know, we may be able to speculate and question and wonder and all of those things, but we don't really know him. We have to know that we're missing a lot of things. We're missing a lot of pieces. So Clara has her chance to be Clara, you know, do her little matronly, nurturing thing. She sees a little girl running around and being stalked by these creepy vigil dude things. And you find out that she's the queen of years, and she has to learn all of these stories and all of these songs and perform at the Festival of Offerings, which the doctor likened to like a Pancake Tuesday. And she's very nervous because she thinks she's not going to do it right. Now, this is sort of supposed to tie in the opening prequel to the episode, which is the doctor searching for Clara and trying to understand her story and sort of creepy stalking her as a young child and meeting her parents and seeing how her parents met with the leaf that flew from a tree that landed in her father's face, and her father stumbled into traffic, and the mother saved him, and then they had a baby, and it was Clara, and the mother died, and spoiler alert, that's it. Page 1 in Clara's 101 Places to See. Now we know it was the leaf that, you know, landed in her father's face that he said was the most important leaf in the entirety of the universe. Because of the whole sort of predetermination speech that he makes about how this exact leaf had to fall at this exact time when I was walking under that exact tree and all that crap. And so you're supposed to see that Clara's mother telling her, no matter what happens, I'll always find you, is Clara's, like, memory, and why Clara keeps flashing back to that during the episode, and that's why she kind of takes this girl underneath her wing. Now, when they actually get to the Festival of Offerings, something goes wrong. So she's singing her fucking awesome song that I can't do, and then all of a sudden the ground starts shaking, and she gets sucked into the pyramid that they are singing to. Now, I am never one to make fun of Doctor Who's graphics, because I know that it's a TV show and it's a budget. But I don't know why they would continue to use the little moped thing, because it looked absolutely terrible and I was laughing at it. like, it just didn't look real. It looked more real when he was going up the side of the shard on a motorcycle than it did when they were supposed to be going from one planet to another on this little, like, planetary moped thing. I don't know why, it just irked me that it didn't look right. I have these moments once in a while where I become a snob about it, and this was one of them. Really, my main issue with this episode was time. Like, I felt like there were certain parts that were drawn out, and then all of a sudden we were supposed to care about this girl, and we were supposed to be scared of the Vigil, and we were supposed to be scared of Grandfather. And, you know, like IGN mentioned, you know, Matt didn't really have much to work with this episode, except for a little emo aside at the very end, which did, you know, it did get to me a little bit. It did make me sad. The idea was that this planet sun thing is a parasite and needs to eat memories and souls. Kind of reminds me of the Great Intelligence thing, what's up with everyone's soul eating. And so he's supposed to eat the Queen of Years. She's supposed to sacrifice herself to him, and when she doesn't, the little creepy Vigil guys that attack with sonar are supposed to take her and feed her to him anyway. Well, the Doctor throws a monkey wrench and all of that. And he ends up sort of kind of sacrificing himself, which I didn't really understand. Like, I thought when he was, like, sucking things out of him, he would, like, end up forgetting. Like, I was expecting him to, like, fall to the ground and be like, who am I? And that didn't happen. And then Clara has her we never leave anybody behind thing, and she comes back and saves him and offers up her leaf, which does get eaten up by this big giant planet guy, and then he's full because Clara's leaf represents all of the things her mother could have done and should have done, but she died early. And the Doctor was saying, you know, you can need everything in the world, but you never have enough space for infinity. Like, there are infinity different things that she could have done with her life, and since her life ended, all of the infinity different things that could have happened are stored in this leaf, and you will be very full and probably shit yourself. I get what they were trying to do with the episode, and I did notice one or two things that were kind of interesting. The idea that the TARDIS didn't like Clara. It kind of made a funny noise when she tried to open up the door. I thought that was interesting. And, like, he does lock the door when he goes on to other planets, but I'm pretty sure companions have opened the door themselves and gone in without a problem. Also, the lady that sounded like a cat or a dog barking at her, why wasn't that translated? Is the TARDIS, like, purposefully not translating things for her? I didn't really get it. I thought that was interesting, though, the kind of, like, TARDIS doesn't like me thing. Like I said, it wasn't the best of episodes. I wasn't really feeling it. I felt like the emotional connections, maybe I'm a heartless bitch, but they were kind of like, meh. Like, the Clara with her mother stuff, I get. The Doctor at the end, I feel like they were just trying to give him a little something to work with, because he really wasn't doing much that whole episode. And I actually didn't care for the Queen of Years at all. Like, I knew I was supposed to feel bad for her, but I couldn't stop looking at those lines on her face. It wasn't my favorite. You know, I really enjoyed the Bells of St. John, and this just wasn't it for me. It didn't do it. I gleaned a couple of interesting Clara facts from it. We know a little bit more about her life. We now know what page 1 is, so we can cross that off of our list of mysteries. But other than that, it was, you know, and it took me so long to get to it because I haven't been feeling well, and now I've gotten to it, and I've sat on it for a couple of days, and I still don't really know what to say about it, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. It's actually probably a really bad thing. Definitely going to keep doing these Doctor Who reviews. Now, we need to think about why the TARDIS doesn't like Clara. We can also appreciate this episode because it did show them working together, and it shows that she wants to help him, and it shows that she's willing to sacrifice things for him, you know. She gives her ring in order to get the moped, and the Doctor gets it back for her. So we are seeing an important companion-Doctor connection, but I expect an important companion-Doctor connection, so when it happens, I just am kind of like, well, this has to happen. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world, but I didn't think it was the best thing in the world, and I very much preferred the Bells of St. John to this. So we'll see what next week has in store for us. Keep your fingers crossed that maybe we'll learn something a little bit more about Clara Oswald. I obviously have a couple of other shows that I watch. If you guys want me to start doing Game of Thrones reviews, let me know. It is known that I love Game of Thrones. And other than that, it is 70-something degrees out. I'm going to go enjoy the day, or pretty much drive to work with the windows down. But either way, it's kind of the same thing. So, tell me what you think. Allons-y!